Every year, Indian colleges produce roughly 1.5 million engineers. Yet when industry leaders review these candidates, they find that only 10% of them possess the technical skills required for employment. A student typically invests 20 years chasing high exam percentages and academic rank. They follow the prescribed rules of the system, only to encounter mass rejection when they finally enter the modern market. Consider a top commerce student who can cite the entire Companies Act by memory. That same student often struggles when asked to perform a routine task, like filing a standard GST return for a local business. This is the result of rote learning, a method that treats the human brain like a temporary storage drive. It prioritizes the memorization of facts for a single exam day over the ability to solve a practical problem in a workplace. Relying solely on these traditional academic rules is no longer a safe strategy. In the current economy, it is a direct path to professional obsolescence. Rote learning was an intentional design choice of the colonial era. The goal was to produce a massive class of compliant clerks who could execute repetitive administrative tasks without independent thought. That historical need for obedience has evolved into the modern coaching industry. Millions of students now compete in the high-stakes JEE and NEET cycles, where their intellectual value is reduced to a single all-India rank on a billboard. This environment actively suppresses curiosity. When students are rewarded only for repeating what is already in the textbook, their capacity for critical thinking and innovation begins to atrophy before they even reach college. An educational model built to serve the Industrial Revolution cannot prepare a student for a workplace increasingly shaped by generative AI and complex automation. To address this disconnect, the National Education Policy 2020 introduced a massive overhaul intended to replace the 200-year-old legacy system. This 5+3+3+4 framework replaces rigid tiers with a progressive model, from play-based learning to vocational prep. It removes the strict hierarchy separating academic subjects from vocational skills, weaving carpentry, coding, and chemistry into one unified learning path. Starting in grade 6, students now encounter mandatory exposure to forms of work, requiring them to apply classroom knowledge to physical tools and digital platforms. The ultimate objective is to shift the machinery of Indian education from manufacturing obedient employees to developing thinkers who can adapt to changing industries. However, translating a national policy into reality across India's diverse and fragmented school systems creates significant friction. New mandated schools. In many rural areas, students must share a single device, making the policy's goal of universal tech integration difficult to achieve. There is also a severe bottleneck in teacher training. Millions of educators, who were themselves products of the rote learning system, must now be rapidly retrained to teach digital competency and critical thinking. While the system is undergoing a positive reset, the bureaucratic process is moving slowly. This creates a gap for the students who are graduating into the workforce right now. If you are a student in this transition period, you cannot wait for a government department to update your syllabus. Taking individual control of your upskilling is now a necessity for survival. You must move from rote to conceptual learning on your own. Instead of memorizing a formula or a code snippet, investigate why the logic works and how it can be modified to solve a different problem. In 2026, the value of a traditional paper degree is declining. A verifiable portfolio of real-world projects now carries significantly more weight. You build this leverage through internships, digital creation, and open-source contributions. A GitHub or design portfolio provides proof of competence a transcript cannot. A degree gets your resume through the initial screening software. A finished portfolio of work is what determines your actual job offer and your starting salary. Proficiency in AI tools and automation is no longer a niche skill. Digital literacy is a fundamental requirement for nearly every professional role. You can bypass traditional hiring funnels through aggressive digital networking. Seeking direct mentorship online often leads to referrals that a standard job application never provides. The high-pressure nature of the Indian school system actually provides a unique advantage. It builds a level of resilience and persistence highly valuable when applied to self-directed learning. When you combine that inherent work ethic with specialized digital skills, you move beyond the limitations of an outdated curriculum. You gain the ability to navigate the global market on your own terms.